going on YouTube? And today in this video, I want to show you a little trick that I've used on my car. It's going to be a wide open switch programmed into the computer. Now on this, the way I have this set up, I utilize the AC circuit inside the computer. And basically what it's going to do is whenever it sees 100% throttle, it automatically kicks the ground signal from the computer to the AC relay, and that's your activation. When it sees 98% throttle, it shuts it off, and you arm it with a switch, 12-volt switch to the power side of the relay. Now this works great in the GM vehicles using the the blue and green connector computers, particularly from 2003 to 2006. It could work in the earlier ones. Now I know they have systems out there that all you have to do is tie into your throttle position wire and everything, but this is just another alternative. If you are interested in this, this is how I use my wide open switch. Electronic throttle systems is kind of hard to put a wide open switch in. You pretty much just have to hook it up to your throttle pedal, actually inside the vehicle. Now, like I said, this utilizes the AC circuit on these computer systems, so you have to have it available. If you have a factory vehicle out there and you want to put this in and it's still got AC, it's not going to work. This is particularly for LS swaps, race cars, street cars, stuff like that does not have AC or has an aftermarket style AC system not used in the computer. Now, like I said, I've had this on my car. I've run several bottles of nitrous through it, and I absolutely love it. It's completely programmable, real easy and simple to use, and I'll show you how to set it up. And what you want to do is you want to get in your HP Tuner's editor software, and what you're going to do is you're going to go right here to the Systems, click on the Systems tab. Then you're going to go over here to where it says AC, click on AC tabs. Now this right here is what we're going to be looking at, the disable conditions. Now the disable RPM and enable RPM. This complete system is programmable however you want it. Now if you want it to work on just throttle position, you just set these so high that it'll never work. I mean, it'll never shut off by RPMs. But I use the RPMs and the throttle position, and I'm going to tell you how I got it set up. Okay, I have a power wire coming from a 12-volt switch. That's my arm switch sending power to the relay. Okay, well, once that happens, the computer is going to send the ground signal once it sees 100% throttle. It's going to send a ground signal off the AC circuit to that relay, and whenever it goes to when it gets to 98% and lower, it'll shut it off. Now the factory had this somewhat backwards. Re-enable throttle position was probably around 60 or 70, and disable I think was 98 or 100. But you can put it anywhere you want to, depending on how your car does at the track, your truck, whatnot. You can make it to where it kicks in through RPMs and not throttle position. The only thing about the RPM, if you only do RPMs, if you ever want it to come down when it's spraying nitrous to it, you have to let off your throttle and it could still be spraying nitrous until it gets to that RPM. So it's real good to have it set up with a throttle position. But like I said earlier, that I also have mine set up with RPM and throttle position. Now how this works is my rev limiter is set at 6,500 RPM. My shift points I think are like 62 or 6,300, I can't remember. Now when I get down on it, it sees 100% throttle. It's going to send that ground signal to that relay, and the other side of the relay you can have your nitrous solenoid hooked up to it, and it's spraying. Okay, now for some reason whatsoever, if my transmission does not shift out at 62 or 6,300 and it keeps going and it hits that rev limiter, it's going to disable the nitrous. No matter what throttle position you're at here, it's going to disable it. And I have it set up, once it does that, it's going to disable it until it gets down to 1,500 RPMs. And at 1,500 RPMs, you're not going to be at 100% throttle. So that's just kind of an extra safety feature that you have incorporated into it. But you can you don't have to use RPM. You can just use strictly the TPS, or you can use just the RPM and not the TPS. It's however you want to customize your vehicle. This is just a little heads up or a little trick that I found that I've used on mine. I love it. It works beautiful. Like I say, you can try it out on yours. but you send 12 volts to one side of the relay, and you'll have 12 volts at the relay, and the other side will be ground, or have power as well, and then you'll have your wire going to your solenoid, and then all you would need is the ground signal coming from the computer, and that's once it sees 100% throttle, you got your ground signal, and as soon as you let off an air bit, it shuts off. So it's a real good system, and it works with the 2003 to 2006 electronic throttle GM computer systems. Mine's a 2004. It can probably work with the earlier ones. I haven't really messed with them. All I mess with is electronic throttle systems. I don't have nothing against cable setups. It's just I prefer electronic throttle. But if you have any questions or comments that you need, if you have or whatnot, and I'll help you any way I can. Like I say, this is just a little tip I was going to show y'all guys that y'all might be interested in. Another alternative from buying a aftermarket wide open switch setup. It's real easy, and it utilizes the computer that you're going to use anyways. So anyways, if you have any questions or comments, just let me know, and happy tuning, fellas.